Hi all, good evening. Today we are going to study about the first chapter of history, nationalism in Europe. First page is the cover page of the chapter, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe from History. It comes under section 1, Events and Processes. What is shown on the first page? The page contains pictures related to important historical events connected with nationalism, revolutions, and people fighting for freedom. Main idea of the chapter. This chapter explains how the feeling of nationalism started in Europe, how countries like Germany, Italy became United Nations, how people fought against kings and empires for freedom and equality. Meaning of nationalism. Nationalism means a strong feeling of love, unity, and loyalty towards one's nation. People with nationalist feelings wanted one united country, common identity, freedom from foreign rules or kings. About the images on the page. The images symbolize revolutions, public movements, unity of people, struggle for independence. For example, crowds of people represent mass movements and revolutions. Leaders addressing people show the rise of political awareness. And the historical battle scenes represent struggles for creating nation states. Easy summary. The first page introduces a chapter about freedom, unity, revolutions, nation building in Europe during the 18th and 19th centuries. It prepares us to learn French Revolution, rise of nationalism, unification of Germany and Italy, role of culture and revolution in creating nations. This is the first image. Now coming to the next page, rise of nationalism in Europe. So now we are starting the chapter. First, here it is shown an image in figure 1 that shows the dream of worldwide democratic and social republics, the pact between nations, a print prepared by Frederick Sorio in 1848. We can look the explanation of this image. This page begins the chapter The Rise of Nationalism in Europe and explains a famous painting by the French artist Frederick Sorio in 1848. The main topic of the page introduces nationalism, liberty, democracy, the dream of a world made of free nations. Explanation of the picture. We are going for the explanation of this picture. This picture is called The Dream of Worldwide Democratic and Social Republics. Okay, Okay, here in the textbook itself it is given that the figure is given as the dream of worldwide democratic and social republics. The Pact Between Nations, a print prepared by Frederick Sorio in 1848. It shows people from different countries marching together. Where is people from different countries? Yes, you can see here different people. These are all peoples, right? These all are peoples. They are marching. They are marching together with the flag. You can see the flag here. So much flags are there. Okay. So what does this explain? What does the statue of, okay, the people are different, people from different countries are marching together. People from different countries are marching together. Yes, you can see here people from different countries with their flags, national flags, are marching towards where? To the Statue of Liberty. This is Statue of Liberty. They are paying respect to the Statue of Liberty. What does the Statue of Liberty means? The female figure represents liberty, freedom. She carries torch, symbol of knowledge and enlightenment, charter of rights of man, symbol of equality and rights. So here you can see that this is Statue of Liberty, and this Statue of Liberty holds torch of light, and in another hand she holds charter of rights of man. This torch is the symbol for knowledge and enlightenment. So torch is the symbol for torch is the symbol for knowledge and enlightenment, whereas charter of rights of man represents symbol of equality and rights. Okay, and Statue of Liberty is a female figure, and female figure represents liberty, that is freedom. Important symbols in the picture. There are some more symbols in the picture that is given. First one is broken objects on the ground. Where you can find broken objects? Broken objects, yes, here you can see the broken objects. What is this broken objects? Broken objects on the ground represent end of absolutist monarchy, destruction of oppressive systems. Okay, in the figure you can see that there are clowns and some monarchical things that are destroyed. So this indicates the destruction of oppressive systems or end of absolutist monarchy. Meaning of absolutist: an absolutist government means a ruler, king or queen, has unlimited power. That is given in our NCRT. That is, absolutist is literally a government or system of rule that has no restraints on the power exercised. In history, the term refers to a form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized, and repressive. An absolutist government means a ruler, king, or queen has unlimited power. Different flags and costumes. And in the image, we can see different flags and costumes, different national flags, and their traditional dresses. This means every group is a separate nation with its own identity. Countries leading the procession. At the front are United States and Switzerland, because they were already nation states at the time. Then comes France, Germany, Austria, Poland, Italy, etc. Important point about Germany. At that time, Germany was not united. It had many small states. Still, people carried the black, red, gold flag because they dreamed of united democratic Germany. Heaven seen. Above the people, Christ, saints, angels are there. They symbolize brotherhood, peace, unity among nations. And one more meaning is there: utopian vision. What is utopian vision? Utopian means an ideal world that is almost impossible to fully achieve. Sorio imagined no oppression, free nations, equality, and unity among people. The page explains how people in Europe dreamed of creating free, democratic, and united nations during the rise of nationalism. Coming to the textbook. In 1848, Frederic Sorio, a French artist, prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republics, as he called them. The first print of the series shows the people of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social classes, marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty as they pass by it. As you would recall, artists of the time of the French Revolution personified liberty as a female figure. Here you can recognize the torch of enlightenment she bears in one hand and the Charter of Rights of Men in the other. On the earth, in the foreground of the image, lie the shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. In Sorio's utopian vision, the peoples of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flags and national costumes. Leading the procession way past the Statue of Liberty are the United States and Switzerland, which by this time were already nation states. France, identifiable by the revolutionary tricolor, has just reached the statue. In the figure where you can see United States and Switzerland. Here you can see some possible flags. These are United States and Switzerland that has passed the Statue of Liberty and they are far from the Statue of Liberty. That means they got freedom many years before the France and the Germany started to think about nationalism. And you can see France flag here. France flag. That means France is near to the Statue of Liberty. That is, they are near to the nationalism. But you can see here Germany and some more flags that are very far from the Statue of Liberty. This page continues the explanation of Frederick Sorrow's Dream of Nations and introduces the meaning of nationalism in Europe. Explanation of the page. France in the procession. The page says France is shown carrying the tricolor flag blue, white, red. It had already become a nation after the French Revolution. Germany was not yet united. Okay. France. What is the color of the France or French flag? It's a tricolor. Which all are the colors? Blue, white, and red. Yes, blue, white, and red. And it had already become a nation after the French Revolution. Here in figure we said that this is France flag. So near French Revolution itself, France was near to Statue of Liberty, or they get nationalized. Here you can see the color of French flag, that is red, white, and black somewhat. Blue, white, and red. It had already become a nation after the French Revolution. Germany was not yet united. The color of German flag was black, red, and gold flag. But at that time, Germany was divided into many small states, so the flag represented the hope of creating one united Germany under a democratic constitution. So here it is said that Germany bearing the black, red, and gold flag. So the color of German flag is black, red, and a golden flag. The German people did not exist as a united nation. The flag they carry is an expression of liberal hopes in 1848 to unify the numerous German-speaking principalities into a nation-state under a democratic constitution. That is, but at that time Germany was divided into many small states, so the flag represented the hope of creating one united Germany under a democratic constitution. Other countries mentioned are: the procession also includes people from Austria, Poland, Hungary, England, Ireland, Russia, Italy. This shows nationalism was spreading across Europe. Meaning of nationalism in Europe. The chapter explains that during the 19th century, nationalism became a powerful force. It changed politics, society, and people's thinking. What was Europe like before nationalism? Earlier, Europe had big empires ruled by kings, many different groups living together, no common national identity. These were called multinational dynastic empires, meaning one ruler controlled many different people and regions. Yeah. What is a nation state? The page introduces the term nation state. A nation state is country where most people share common identity, history, culture, and loyalty toward the nation. Example today France, Germany, Italy. Important idea. The book says national identity was not natural from the beginning. It was created through struggles, revolutions, leadership, and public movements. Ernest Renan's ideas. This page includes a source by French thinker Ernest Renan. He says, a nation is built through sacrifices, shared history, common memories, and the desire to live together. According to Renan, a nation is not made only by language, religion, race, or territory. Instead, a nation is formed when people feel united and want to stay together. Meaning of plebiscite. The page defines plebiscite, a direct vote by people to accept or reject something. Simple summary. This page explains how nationalism spread in Europe, what a nation state means, and how people slowly developed a common national identity through shared struggles and unity. Let's read once again this NCRT. In 1848, Frederick Sorio. 1848. Frederick Sorio, a French artist, prepared a series of 4 prints. He made a series of 4 prints, visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republics, as he called them. The first print of the series shows the people of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social classes, marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty as they pass by it. As you would recall, artists of the time of the French Revolution personified liberty as a female figure. Here you can recognize the torch of enlightenment. She bears in one hand and the Charter of Rights of Man in the other. On the earth, in the foreground of the image, lie the shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. In Sorio's utopian vision, the peoples of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flags and national costume. Leading the procession way past the Statue of Liberty are the United States and Switzerland, which by this time were already nation states. France, identified by their revolutionary tricolor, has just reached the statue. She is followed by the peoples of Germany bearing the black, red, and gold flag. Interestingly, at the time when Soryu created this image, the German people did not exist as a united nation. The flag they carry is an expression of liberal hopes in 1848 and to unify the numerous German speaking principalities into a nation state under a democratic constitution. Following the German peoples are the peoples of Austria, Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and Russia. From the heavens above, Christ, saints, and angels gaze upon the sea. They have been used by the artist to symbolize fraternity among the nations of the world. So, what all are discussed in this picture? Here is a large group of people. They are marching towards which statue? Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is represented as male or female? Female. She holds two things in two hands. In one hand, she holds a torch, torch of enlightenment, and in the other hand, she holds Charter of Rights. And here we can see that so many flags are there. This is German flag, and this is France flag, and here some small flags can be seen. That are the flags of United States and Switzerland. Their people are far away from Statue of Liberty. That is, they have crossed the Statue of Liberty so many years before the nationalism in Europe started. That means they have reached very far. Here France is near the Statue of Liberty. So it means by the start of the nationalism in Europe itself, France was near to Statue of Liberty, means they are near to democratic. And here you can see German, and Germany is followed by some Poland, Hungary, Lombardia, Austria, the Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, Russia. They are following Germany. They are in the back of German. And here you can see what is this. This is shattered pieces of where is it? Here you can see shattered remains of the symbols of absolute institutions. That is shown here. This one. And above them you can see Jesus Christ with written fraternity. What does that mean? And the angels are all above them. Here Christ, saints, and angels gaze upon the scene. They have been used by the artist to symbolize fraternity. That's why here it is shown or written fraternity. This is Jesus Christ. This is angels, and some saints are there. And What is the color of German flag? German flag was black, red, and golden or yellow. Black, red, and golden. And what was the color of France? Blue, white, and red. And what do you mean by utopian vision? Utopian vision, a vision of a society that is so ideal that it is unlikely to actually exist. That is because it is so ideal vision that it is the chance of possibility to exist. That vision is, or that surroundings or ideal nature is very difficult. Absolutist, literally a government or system of rule that has no restraints on the power exercise. In history, the term refers to a form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized, and repressive. Ernest Renan. Ernest Renan. In a lecture delivered at the University of Sorbonne in 1882, the French philosopher Ernest Renan outlined his understanding of what makes a nation. The lecture was subsequently published as a famous essay entitled Cbse Nation, that is, what is a nation? In this essay, Renan criticizes the notion suggested by others that a nation is formed by a common language, race, religion, and territory. A nation is the culmination of a long past of endeavors, sacrifice, and devotion. A heroic past, great men, glory, that is the social capital upon which one bases a national idea. To have common glories in the past, to have a common will in the present, to have performed great deeds together, to wish to perform still more. These are the essential conditions of being a people. A nation is therefore a large scale solidarity. Its existence is a daily plebiscite. A province is its inhabitants. If anyone has the right to be consulted, it is the inhabitant. A nation never has any real interest in annexing or holding on to a country against its will. The existence of nations is a good thing, a necessity even. Their existence is a guarantee of liberty which would be lost if the world had only one law and only one master. It is very difficult. We can look short of this paragraph. This passage explains the ideas of French thinker Ernest Renan. Who was Ernest Renan? Ernest Renan is a French thinker. What is a nation? He gives or he asks a concept. What is a nation? He gave this lecture in 1882 at the University of Sorbonne. Simple explanation. What did Ernest Renan say? Renan explained that a notion is not formed only by common language, race, religion, territory. He criticized these ideas. According to him, a nation is created by So Renan explained that a nation is not formed only by common language, race, religion, territory. He criticized these ideas. According to him, a nation is created by shared history, shared sacrifices, shared achievements, and the desire of people to live together. Important line explained. A nation is the culmination of a long past of endeavors, sacrifice, and devotion. Meaning, a nation is built through hard work of people, sacrifices made in the past, unity, and devotion toward the country. What are the essential conditions of a nation? Renan says people become a nation when they share common memories, feel proud of their past, work together, want to continue living together in the future. So, a nation is based on unity plus shared feelings plus common will. What does daily plebiscite mean? Plebiscite means a vote by the people. When Renan says a nation's existence is a daily plebiscite, he means every day people choose to stay united as one nation. A nation exists because people willingly support it. What did he say about annexation? Renan believed no country should forcefully capture another country. People living in a region should decide their own future. This idea supports freedom and self determination. Why are nations important according to Renan? He said nations protect liberty, freedom of people. Without nations, one powerful ruler might dominate the whole world. Key terms: nation, a group of people united by common history, shared memories, common goals, desire to live together. Plebiscite is a direct vote by people on an important issue. Short summary: Ernest Renan believed that a nation is not made by language, religion, or race alone. A nation is formed when people share common memories, sacrifices, and desire to live together peacefully and unitedly. Okay. So, coming to the next paragraph. The chapter will deal with many of the issues visualized by Sorio in Figure 1. During the 19th century, nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in the political and mental world of Europe. The end result of these changes was the emergence of the nation state in place of the multinational dynastic empires of Europe. The concept and practices of modern state in which a centralized power exercised sovereign control over a clearly defined territory had been developing over a long period of time in Europe. But a nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens and not only its rulers came to develop a sense of common identity and shared history or descent. This commonness did not exist from time immemorial. It was forged through struggles, through actions of leaders and the common people. This chapter will look at the diverse processes through which nation states and nationalism came into being in 19th century Europe. What is this paragraph about? This paragraph explains how nationalism became a powerful force in Europe during the 19th century and led to the creation of nation states. Simple explanation. What is this chapter about? This chapter discusses nationalism in Europe, formation of nation states, changes in politics and society during the 19th century. It connects with the ideas shown in the paintings of Frederick Sorio. What is nationalism? Nationalism means a feeling of unity, love of the nation, love for the nation, shared identity among the people. In the 19th century, nationalism became a strong force in Europe and changed the political system completely. What changes happened in Europe? Earlier, Europe was ruled by multinational dynastic empires. This means one king or dynasty ruled many different groups of people. People had different languages, culture, and identities. Example: Austrian Empire, Ottoman Empire. Later, these empires slowly changed into nation states. What is modern state? A modern state is a country with a central government, clear boundaries, laws and administration controlled from the center. The government has sovereign power over its territory. What is the nation state? A nation state is a country where most people share common identity, shared history, culture, traditions, and not just the rulers but ordinary people also feel united in as one nation. How was this common identity formed? The passage says this commonness does not exist from the time immemorial, meaning national identity was not naturally present forever. It was created gradually through struggles, revolutions, efforts of leaders, participation of common people. Important terms. A nation state. A state where people share a common national identity. Multinational dynastic empire. A empire ruled by one dynasty over many different national groups. Sovereign control. Complete authority of a government over its territory. Short summary. During the 19th century, nationalism became a major force in Europe. Large empires slowly broke down and a nation state emerged where people shared common identity, history, and a sense of unity. Ask MCQ. Wait for my answer. For my response. Explain. Sentence. What replaced the multinational dynastic empires in Europe during the 19th century? Colonial state, nation states, tribal kingdoms, religious groups. I think it's nation states. Okay. Now it's break time. Explanation. A multinational dynastic empire was ruled by one dynasty over many different groups of people. During the 19th century, nationalism grew stronger in Europe. People wanted their own independent nations. As a result, nation states emerged where people shared a common identity, common history, and common culture. What is a nation state? A state ruled only by kings? No. A country with no boundaries? No. A state where people share a common identity and history? Yes. A group of colonies under one ruler? C. A nation state is a country where most people feel united through common history, common culture, and identity. In a nation state, not only rulers but also ordinary citizens share a sense of belonging. Nationalism helped create such nation states in Europe. MCQ 3. According to Ernest Renan, a nation is mainly formed by common religion only, common language only, shared memories, sacrifices, and a desire to live together, fear of rulers. Which one? Shared memories, sacrifices, and desire to live together. Yes, I also. Yes. Ernest Renan believed that a nation is not formed only by language, religion, or race. According to him, people become a nation when they share common memories, sacrifices, and goals. He also said that people should willingly choose to live together as one nation. What does the term daily plebiscite mean according to Renan? What does the term daily plebiscite mean according to Renan? Daily plebiscite. Daily election of a king. No. People daily choosing to remain united as a nation. No. Daily celebration of independence. Military control over citizens. Think military control over citizens. Daily plebiscite. No. People daily choosing to remain united as a nation. A direct vote by which all the people of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal. According to Ernest Renan, a nation exists because people continue to support and accept it every day. That phrase daily plebiscite means people willingly choose to stay united as one nation. It represents unity, consent, and a shared national feeling. What does the torch carried by Liberty on Soros print symbolize? Torch enlightenment. In Frederick Sorio's print, Liberty carries torch that represent enlightenment. Enlightenment stands for knowledge, freedom, and the end of ignorance. It symbolizes the spread of democratic ideas and human rights. What were lying shattered on the ground in Sorio's print? Symbols of absolutist institutions. In the print of Frederick Sorio, the shattered objects represented absolutist institutions. Absolutism means a ruler having unlimited power without considering the people's rights. Their broken symbols show the end of oppressive monarchies and the rise of freedom and democracy. Which two countries were shown leading the procession in Sorio's print? United States and Switzerland. Explanation in 3 sentences. In Sorio's print, the procession was led by the United States and Switzerland. These countries were seen as examples of democratic nation states during that time. They symbolized liberty, equality, and constitutional government. What is meant by utopian vision? A vision of war and conquest, an ideal and perfect society, a rule by dictators, a society without laws, an ideal and perfect society. A utopian vision means an imaginary ideal world where everything is peaceful and perfect. In Sorio's print, people of different nations live together with freedom, equality, and democracy. It represents hope for a better society without oppression or injustice. What is the main feature of a modern state? Rule by religious leaders, absence of laws, centralized power over a defined territory, control by foreign countries. Main feature of a modern state. Centralized power of over a defined territory. Yes, a modern state has a central government that exercises power over a clearly defined territory. It creates laws, maintains administration, and controls the people within its borders. Sovereign control is one of the most important features of a modern state. According to the passage, nationalism in Europe became a powerful force during the 19th century. Nationalism became a very powerful force in Europe during the 19th century. People started demanding freedom, unity, and independent nation state instead of being ruled by dynastic empires. This movement completely changed the political map of Europe. More questions. What does sovereign control mean? Sovereign control. Control by another country, complete authority of a government over its territory, rule without laws, religious leadership over citizens. I think it's B. Correct. Sovereign control means that a government has complete authority over its own territory and people. No external power can interfere in its decisions. It is an important feature of a modern nation state. Which of the following was not considered the basis of a nation by Ernest Renan? Shared memories, common sacrifices, desire to live together, common religion only. Common religion only. Ernest Renan believed that a nation is not formed only by religion. According to him, shared memories, sacrifices, and willingness to live together are more important. He rejected the idea that a single religion alone can create a nation. What did the broken symbols in Sorio's print mainly represent? Broken symbols. End of absolutist monarchy. The broken symbols in Sorio's print represented the fall of absolutist monarchy. The absolutist rulers had unlimited power and did not give freedom to the people. Their destruction symbolized the rise of liberty, equality, and democratic ideas. What does multinational mean in the term multinational dynastic empire? Multinational. What does multinational mean in the term multinational dynastic empire? One nation under one culture, many nations or ethnic groups living under one ruler, a country ruled by elected leaders, a state without boundaries. Many nations or ethnic groups living under one ruler. A multinational dynastic empire contained many different nationalities, cultures, and ethnic groups under one ruler or dynasty. People in such empires often spoke different languages and followed different traditions. Examples included the Austrian and Ottoman empires. What did the Charter of Rights of Man symbolize in Sorio's print? Human rights and equality. Charter of Rights of Man symbolize human rights and equality. I hope so. The Charter of the Rights of Man symbolized human rights, freedom, and equality. It was inspired by the ideas of French Revolution. In Sorio's print, liberty carries it to show the spread of democratic values. What kind of societies did Sorio imagine in his utopian vision? Democratic and social republics. Yes. Frederick Sorio imagined a world filled with democratic and social republics. Democratic and social republics. In his vision, people of different nations lived with freedom, equality, and unity. His artwork reflected the hopes of nationalism and democracy in Europe. What was the main political result of nationalism in Europe? What was the main political result of nationalism in Europe? Strengthening of feudalism, rise of nation states, increase in tribal rule, end of governments. I think it's rise of nation states. Nationalism in Europe mainly led to the rise of nation states during the 19th century. People wanted countries based on common identity, culture, and shared history rather than dynastic rule. This movement changed Europe politically and weakened large empires. Who among the following created the series of prints imagining a world of democratic republics? Who among the following created the series of prints imagining a world of democratic republics? Frederick Sorio. Frederick Sorio created a series of prints in 1848 showing his dream of democratic and social republics. His artwork represented liberty, equality, and unity among nations. These prints reflected the growing spirit of nationalism in Europe. According to Renan, what keeps a nation alive? the continuous consent and unity of people. According to Ernest Renan, a nation survives because people continuously choose to stay united. He called this idea a daily plebiscite. Shared feelings, memories, and a collective will keep a nation alive. Why did nationalism weaken large dynastic empires in Europe? Why did nationalism weaken large dynastic empires in Europe? People wanted separate nation states based on common identity. Kings wanted to divide their kingdoms? No. Empires become richer? No. Religious leaders took control? No. People wanted separate nation state based on common identity. Large dynastic empires weakened because different groups of people wanted their own independent nation states. They desired governments based on common culture, language, history, and identity. Nationalism encouraged people to fight against foreign or dynastic rule for self-determination. Which idea is most closely connected with nationalism? Unity among people with common identity. Yes. Ruled by foreign powers? No. Unlimited power of kings? No. Absence of political boundaries? No. A. Nationalism is strongly connected with the feeling of unity among people who share a common identity. People belonging to the same culture, history, or traditions began to see themselves as one nation. This feeling helped in the formation of modern nation states in Europe. What was one major aim of nationalist movements in Europe? To expand dynastic empires? No. To establish independent nation states? Yes. To remove all governments? No. To increase monarchy power? No. B. One major aim of nationalist movements in Europe was to create independent nation states. People wanted self-rule instead of being controlled by dynasties or foreign empires. Nationalism inspired movements for freedom, unity, and a democratic government. What does the term dynasty mean? A group of elected leaders, a family of rulers ruling over generations, a democratic government, a military organization. I also think a family of rulers ruling over generations. Yes. A dynasty is a family of rulers who govern a country for many generations. Power is usually passed from parents to children within the same royal family. Many European empires before nationalism were ruled by powerful dynasties. Which of the following best describes a plebiscite? A war between nations? No. A vote by the people on an important issue? Yes. A meeting of kings? No. Religious ceremony? No. Plebiscite, utopian vision, then absolutist, these four words need to be studied. Three words: absolutist, plebiscite, and utopian vision. A plebiscite is a direct vote by the people on an important political issue. Ernest Renan used the term to explain that people must willingly choose to remain united as a nation. It represents the idea of popular consent and democracy. What did liberty hold in one hand in Sorio's print? A sword, a national flag, the Charter of the Rights of Man, crown. Charter of the Rights of Man. In Sorio's print, liberty held the Charter of the Rights of Men in one hand. It symbolized human rights, equality, and freedom for all people. This idea was inspired by the principles of the French Revolution. What does a social republic mainly aims to provide? rule by kings, equality and social justice, military dictatorship, colonial expansion. Equality and social justice. A social republic aims to provide equality, justice, and better living conditions for people. It believes that all citizens should have equal rights and opportunities in society. In Sorio's utopian vision, social republics represented fairness, democracy, and unity, which revolution strongly influenced the ideas of liberty and equality in Europe. French Revolution. The French Revolution strongly influenced the ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity in Europe. It challenged the power of absolute monarchies and promoted democratic rights. These ideas later inspired nationalist movements across Europe. What did people in Europe begin to demand because of nationalism? Foreign rule, independent national governments, more dynastic empires, removal of all laws, independent national governments. Because of nationalism, people in Europe began demanding independent national governments. They wanted self-rule instead of being controlled by foreign rulers or dynastic empires. Nationalism encouraged unity, freedom, and the formation of nation states. Okay, from nationalism in Europe. Very short answer question. Who was Frederick Sorio? Frederick Sorio, a painter. Which country? French. Okay. A French artist who created prints visualizing democratic and social republics. Okay, his printings or paintings were based on the idea of democratic and social republics. Okay, what is mean by a nation state? Where people share common identity, culture, and history. What did Ernest Renan mean by a nation is a daily plebiscite? Daily plebiscite means it's the people living in that country should have the right to vote or take a decision about a particular matter. Renan means that a nation exists because people continuously choose to live together. Unity and consent of the people are necessary for a nation. A nation survives through shared feelings and collective will. Explain any three symbols used in Sorio's print. Torch of Enlightenment, Charter of the Rights of Man. Torch of Enlightenment for symbol of knowledge and freedom. Charter of Rights of Man, equality and rights. Broken remains of absolutist institutions is end of monarchy and dictatorship. Case-based question. Frederick Sorio visualized a world made up of democratic and social republics. What does the shattered image in Sorio's print symbolize? End of monarchy and dictatorship. Fall of absolutist institutions. See. Nationalism became a powerful force in Europe in the 19th century. People wanted independent nation state based on shared identity. Yes, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Describe the ideas of Ernest Renan regarding the nation. Nation is not formed only by language or religion. Shared history and sacrifices are important. People should willingly choose to live together. Nation existence is a daily plebiscite. Okay. How did nationalism lead to the rise of nation states in Europe? Nationalism led to the rise of nation states in Europe. People demanded self-rule, dynastic empires weakened, shared culture and identity united people. Nation state emerged in the 19th century. Most important board exam topics from this portion. Sorio's print and symbols. Meaning of utopian vision. Utopian vision means an ideal vision, so ideal vision that its existence is questionable. A vision of society that is so ideal that it is unlikely to actually exist. That is utopian vision. A vision of society that is so ideal that it is unlikely to actually exist. Nation state definition. Ernest Renan's ideas. Daily plebiscite. Nationalism in Europe. Modern state with nation state. Absolutist institutions. Most repeated MCQ areas in Cbse is daily plebiscite, Charter of Rights of Man, Torch of Enlightenment, nation state, multinational dynastic empire, social republic, nationalism in Europe, and sovereign control. Now moving to the next chapter, the French Revolution and the idea of nation. The first clear expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution in 1789. France, as you would remember, was a full-fledged territorial state in 1789 under the rule of an absolute monarch. The political and constitutional changes that came in the wake of the French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from monarchy to a body of French citizens. The revolution proclaimed that it was the people who would henceforth constitute the nation and shape its destiny. From the very beginning, the French revolutionaries introduced various measures and practices that could create a sense of collective identity among the French people. The ideas of La Patrie, the fatherland, Les Citoyens, the citizen, emphasized the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights under a constitution. A new French flag, the tricolor, was chosen to replace the formal royal standard flag. The Estate General was elected by the body of active citizens and renamed the National Assembly. New hymns were composed, oaths taken, martyrs commemorated, all in the name of the nation. A centralized administrative system was put in place and it formulated uniform laws for all citizens within its territory. Internal custom duties and dues were abolished and a uniform system of weights and measures was adopted. Regional dialects were discouraged and French as it was spoken and written in Paris became the common language of the nation. Now looking to the more deeper meanings of these paragraphs. This passage explains how the French Revolution became the first strong expression of nationalism. Simple explanation. France before the revolution. Before 1789. French Revolution started in the year 1789. France was ruled by an absolute monarch, king with complete power. Okay, before 1789, France was ruled by a king with complete power, that is called as monarchy or absolute monarchy. Ordinary people had very little political power. People are very ordinary, they have little power, little political power. France was already a territorial state, but people were not treated equally. Okay. What happened after the French Revolution? The French Revolution brought major political changes. Sovereignty shifted from the king to the citizen of France. This means The people became the real source of power. Citizens will now shape the future of the nation. Power shifted from king's hands to the ordinary people after French Revolution. How did revolutionaries create nationalism? The revolutionaries introduced many changes to create a sense of collective identity, meaning people started feeling united as one nation. Important ideas introduced. Le patrie. Le patrie means the fatherland. It means the nation belongs to the people. And les citoyens. That means the citizen. It means all citizens are equal before the nation. These ideas promoted equality, unity, and national identity. Important measures taken. New national flag is taken. The tricolor flag replaced the royal flag. It became the symbol of the French nation. A state general converted to National Assembly. The representatives elected by citizens were named National Assembly. This showed that nation was now represented by the people. National symbols and unity. Hymns were composed. Hymns are small poems. Oaths were taken. Many promises were taken. Martyrs were honored. Those who give their lives for French Revolution were honored. All these were done in the name of nation. Centralized administration. A strong central government was created with uniform laws for all citizens. Removal of internal customs duties. Tax and trade barriers inside the country were removed. This helped trade, unity, and economic integration. Uniform weights and measures. The same system of measurement was used everywhere. This created national uniformity. One language, one common language. Regional dialects were discouraged. French spoken in Paris became the national language. This helped people feel more united. Important terms. Nationalism. Feeling of unity, pride, and loyalty towards one's nation. What is collective identity? A shared feeling of belonging to the same nation. Sovereignty, supreme power or authority. Short summary. The French Revolution transferred power from the monarchy to the people and introduced ideas of equality, citizenship, and national unity. Through symbols, laws, language, and reforms, it created a strong sense of nationalism in France. Need mind map. French Revolution 1789. Transfer of power. A rise of nationalism. Collective identity. Kings to citizen. Monarchy ended and the power shifted from kings to citizens. Love for nation, shared identity. Feeling of unity and the common belonging. People became source of power, that is, people become the sovereign power. Ideas introduced by revolutionaries includes le patrie, that means fatherland, nation belongs to the people. Le citoyen, that means citizen, citizens are equal members of a nation, and equal rights under constitutions. Symbols of nationalism. There is a tricolor flag that is replaced by royal flag. Tricolor flag replaced the royal flag, and national hymns and songs for nation were proposed. Oaths and martyrs honored nationally. Administrative reforms, uniform laws, that is same laws for all citizens, end of custom duties, also internal taxes removed, uniform measurements, also same weights and measures. Language unification. French became national language, regional dialects discouraged. Final results, strong sense of nationalism occurred, a nation formed by united citizens. The revolutionaries further declared that it was the mission and destiny of the French nation to liberate the peoples of Europe from despotism. This is a word you have to study, despotism. In other words, to help other peoples of Europe to become nations. When the news of the events in France reached the different cities of Europe, students and other members of the educated middle class began setting up Jacobin clubs. Their activities and campaigns prepared the way for the French armies which moved into Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and much of Italy in 1790s. With the outbreak of revolutionary wars, the French armies began to carry the idea of nationalism abroad. Then, coming to the explanation of this paragraph, the passage explains how the ideas of French Revolution spread across Europe and helped the growth of nationalism. Simple explanation. What did the French revolutionaries believe? The revolutionaries believed that France had a mission to free the people of Europe from despotism, that is, oppressive rule, or the king's rule, and absolute monarchy. They wanted other European people also to gain freedom, form their own nations. What is despotism? Despotism means a system where a ruler has unlimited power and rules harshly. The French Revolution opposed to such a rule. How did revolutionary ideas spread? When news of the revolution reached other parts of Europe, students, educated middle class people became inspired by the ideas of liberty, equality, and nationalism. What were Jacobin clubs? People in many European cities formed Jacobin clubs. These were groups that spread revolutionary ideas, supported nationalism, and encouraged political change. The Jacobins played an important role in spreading the spirit of revolution. How did French armies spread nationalism? French armies moved into places like Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, parts of Italy during the revolutionary wars of 1790s. Along with the wars, they also carried the ideas of freedom, equality, and national unity. Thus, nationalism spread throughout Europe. Important terms: nationalism, a feeling of unity and loyalty towards one nation. Jacobin Club, a political group that supported revolutionary ideas during and after the French Revolution. Revolutionary wars, wars fought by the revolutionary France against other European monarchies. Short summary: the French Revolution inspired people across Europe to fight against absolute rulers and demand freedom and nationhood. Jacobin Club and French armies helped spread the ideas of nationalism to many European countries. Ask MCQs one by one. One by one. Who gave the first clear expression of nationalism in 1789? French Revolution. The French Revolution gave the first clear expression of nationalism in 1789. What does the term "le patrie" means? Fatherland. The fatherland. B. Le patrie means the fatherland, the nation to which people feel loyal and united. What replaced the royal standard after the French Revolution? Tricolor flag. The tricolor flag replaced the royal standard after the French Revolution and became the symbol of the French nation. Who became the source of sovereignty after the French Revolution? Source of sovereignty, the citizens of France. After the French Revolution, sovereignty shifted from the monarch to the citizens of France. Which political group helped spread revolutionary ideas in Europe? Jacobin clubs. Jacobin clubs played an important role in spreading revolutionary and nationalist ideas across Europe. What does le citoyen mean? The citizen. Le citoyen means the citizen. It represented the idea that all citizens are equal members of the nation. Which of the following was removed to promote economic unity in France? Internal custom duties. The French government removed internal custom duties or tax barriers inside the country to promote free trade, economic unity, and national integration. According to Ernest Renan, what is the basis of a nation? According to Ernest Renan, what is the basis of a nation? Common religion only, common language only, shared memories and the desire to live together. Shared memories and the desire to live together. According to Ernest Renan, a nation is based on shared memories, common sacrifices, the desire of people to live together. What does the term plebiscite mean? Plebiscite means the direct vote by people. Plebiscite means a direct vote by the people on an important public issue. What type of empire existed in Europe before the rise of nationalism? What type of empire existed in Europe before the rise of nationalism? Democratic republics, nation state, multinational dynastic empires, socialistic states. It's dynastic empires. C. Before nationalism spread across Europe, many regions were ruled by multinational dynastic empires, where one ruler controlled people of different languages and cultures. What was the main aim of the French revolutionaries in Europe? Spread monarchy, expand trade only, free people from absolute monarchies, increase taxes. Free people from absolute monarchies. Okay. Today's session is over. Tomorrow morning there will be a revision on the topics we have studied at 6 o'clock.